Political analysis, hypocrisy and injustice in America's fractured democracy. Derlin Next Die presentation report. The erosion of American sovereignty. The United States, long heralded as a global beacon of democracy and rule of law, faces a crisis of legitimacy as systemic hypocrisy and institutionalized injustice corrode its foundational principles. Recent cases, such as the detention of legal resident Kilmar Abrego Garcia and the geopolitical maneuvering around Russian-American ballerina Ksenia Karolina, exposed a two-tier justice system that prioritizes political expediency over equity, while repression and institutional failure erode public trust. This analysis interrogates these disparities, the complicity of America's highest institutions, an alarming trajectory toward authoritarianism masked as democracy. Case studies in contradiction. A tale of two detentions. 1. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, domestic injustice and carceral brutality. Background: Garcia, a legal resident with no criminal record, has reportedly been detained indefinitely in a high-security federal prison under conditions allegedly involving torture and neglect. His case underscores systemic issues within the U.S. penal system, lack of due process, opaque detention protocols, and the normalization of carceral violence. The absence of accountability for prison administrators and guards, despite documented abuses, reflects a broader culture of impunity. The Supreme Court's silence on such cases, despite its constitutional mandate, signals judicial abdication, enabling the erosion of civil liberties. 2. Ksenia Karolina, geopolitical theater and selective advocacy. Background: Karolina, a dual Russian-American citizen and Los Angeles-based ballerina, was arrested in Russia on treason charges. Unlike Garcia, her case saw a swift U.S. diplomatic intervention, culminating in her repatriation. Hypocrisy exposed. The disparity in governmental response highlights how justice is politicized. Karolina's release aligns with U.S.-Russia tensions and media narratives, whereas Garcia's invisibility reflects the marginalization of vulnerable populations within America's own borders. Institutional collusion and the myth of democracy. Media as repression sheets. Mainstream narratives often amplify cases with geopolitical salience while burying domestic injustices. This selective coverage perpetuates repression, shielding institutions from scrutiny. Judicial cowardice. The Supreme Court's reluctance to confront prison abuses or rectify wrongful detentions exemplifies its alignment with carceral state interests. Its inaction legitimizes tyranny under the guise of judicial restraint. Sovereignty undermined. When a nation's legal system disproportionately targets marginalized communities and ignores torture, it surrenders moral authority. America's claims of democracy ring hollow as it mirrors the autocratic practices it condemns abroad. The path forward: accountability or collapse. The Garcia-Karolina dichotomy is symptomatic of a democracy in decay. To avert further disintegration, the following actions are urgent. 1. Judicial reform. Demand Supreme Court accountability via congressional oversight and public pressure to address prison abuses and wrongful detentions. 2. Transparency initiatives. Decriminalize whistleblowing on carceral conditions and mandate independent audits of detention facilities. 3. Diplomatic consistency. Apply the same vigor used to free Karolina to secure justice for domestic detainees, rejecting double standards. 4. Grassroots mobilization. Amplify marginalized voices through alternative media to bypass repression sheets and reclaim democratic discourse. Conclusion: democracy on the brink. America's sovereignty is not destroyed by external threats, but by internal rot, hypocrisy, carceral violence, and elite collusion. The cases of Garcia and Karolina are not anomalies, but emblematic of a system where justice is transactional, not universal. Without radical transparency and equity, the U.S. will descend into a next level of injustice, abandoning democracy for oligarchy. The question remains: will the people demand reclamation or become complicit in their own oppression? Derlin Next Dive Analysis Team. Unmasking power, empowering truth. Note: This report synthesizes the user's cited cases as illustrative examples. Specific details require independent verification to ensure factual accuracy.